Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel, I hope. Everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Golden Bachelorette, Chock Chapple never saw himself on reality TV. The Golden Bachelorette contestant, Chock Chapple admits that he never saw himself on reality television. He just spent an amazing one-on-one date with Joan Vassos in the September 25th episode. So now that is working his way into her heart. What more is there to know about Chock's relationship with the show? Keep reading for more details. Chock Chapple never saw himself on reality TV. When Chock Chapple first got out of the limo to meet the first ever Golden Bachelorette, Joan Vassos, he had a surprise. He had chock-o noodle soup for her to try, which viewers were mixed on. Some felt it was the sweetest gesture since she was all about homemade soup. Yet, others would never drink random soup out of a container from a man they had never met. It won Joan over because the two have a very strong connection. They went on a very memorable date to Disneyland, which culminated with a dinner date fit for a princess and her prince plus fireworks to boot. Though Joan has been on reality television, vying for Jerry Turner's heart on The Golden Bachelor, this is all new for Chock. He had never watched any of the Bachelor shows, let alone thought about being on one. For that matter, he never imagined he would be on reality TV. According to Glamour, getting on the show was all Chock's daughter, Taylor, who signed him up for the show. As it turns out, it was one of Taylor's friends who saw the casting call for The Golden Bachelorette. She thought Chock would be perfect for it and suggested they apply. It was almost instantly that production called Chock. Although he was not sure if he wanted the notoriety, he also did not want to miss out on the opportunity. At ease? Admittedly, Chock Chapple does not want to be nervous at his age, 60, but could have been at Disneyland. While waiting for Joan Vassos to arrive for their date, it could have happened. Then, Joan put him completely at ease and they had an amazing time. However, Chock still has no idea what Taylor put on the application to get him on the show. She just said Joan was his type, and yes, he says she is attractive and kind. Plus, Taylor is familiar with her from The Golden Bachelor, so playing matchmaker, it seems she did quite well. Chock Chapple never imagined his life would look like this at 61. A retired firefighter, devoted father of 2, and grandpa of 4, Chock figured his days of adventure were behind him. He spent most of his days tinkering with classic cars in his Nashville garage and spoiling his grandkids with homemade root beer floats. Reality TV. That was something he watched with his daughter on Sunday nights, not something he'd starred in. And yet, here he was, standing in the moonlight with Joan Vassos, America's first Golden Bachelorette, nervously holding a rose and wondering if this was all a dream. "I didn't come here expecting to fall in love," Chock said in a recent confessional, scratching his head with a sheepish smile. "I thought maybe I'd make some friends, maybe sneak in a round of golf or two. But Joan? She's different. She's got this spark. She makes me feel like I'm 25 again." It's hard not to fall a little in love with Chock yourself. With his salt and pepper beard, gentle southern drawl, and penchant for quoting Dolly Parton at just the right moments, Chock quickly became the surprise fan favorite. While some of the other men arrived with rehearsed lines and Instagram-ready smiles, Chock showed up in a bolo tie, told Joan her smile could light up a Smoky Mountain tunnel, and just like that, stole the show. But the road to the Golden Bachelorette wasn't exactly paved with rose petals for Chock. "I was nominated by my daughter as a joke," he explained with a laugh during his hometown episode. "She sent in this video of me dancing in the kitchen while making pancakes, saying I needed a woman who could keep up with my syrup game. Next thing I know, I'm flying to LA and getting fitted for a tux." What Chock didn't realize then was that his authenticity would be exactly what the show, and Joan, needed. From the moment he stepped out of the limo, Chock stood out. "Most guys bring flowers or corny pickup lines," Joan said, smiling during a recent interview. "Chock brought me a harmonica and said, 'I'll play a tune every time you look sad.' Who does that? Who even thinks like that anymore?" As the season progressed, it became clear that Chock was more than just charming. He was grounding. While other contestants got caught up in the drama, Chock stayed focused. Whether it was helping one of the guys through a panic attack before a group date or giving Joan space when she needed to grieve the loss of a past love, Chock showed emotional intelligence that's rare even outside the mansion walls. In one particularly poignant moment, Chock opened up to Joan about losing his wife, Leela, to breast cancer 7 years ago. "We had 30 years together," he said, his voice cracking. "She was my everything, and I promised her I wouldn't shut my heart down. I just didn't think I'd find someone who made it beat again." That moment, raw, honest, and deeply human, moved not just Joan but viewers around the country. Social media lit up with messages like "Protect Chock at all costs," and "If Chock doesn't get the final rose, I riot." A fan account dedicated to his bolo ties and wise sayings amassed over 50,000 followers in less than a week. "I think what resonates with people," says host Jess Palmer, "is that Chock reminds us of the good in the world. He's proof that love, kindness, and a little bit of cornbread wisdom never go out of style." And yet, despite all the attention, Chock remains as humble as ever. "I'm just a regular guy," he says, sipping sweet tea on a porch swing during his hometown date. "I miss Leela every day. I love my grandkids more than life itself. I just wanted to see what this whole love thing still had in store for me." As the season nears its final episodes, fans are holding their breath. Will Joan choose Chock in the end? Their chemistry is undeniable. Whether they're two-stepping under the stars or quietly holding hands during a walk through a rose garden. But as with any love story, there are no guarantees. "Look," Chock says with his usual honesty, "if it ends with a rose and a future with Joan, I'll be the happiest man alive. But if it ends with me going back to my garage in Nashville, I'll still be grateful. Because this journey taught me that I'm not too old to feel butterflies, not too old to be surprised, not too old for love." And maybe that's what makes Chock Chapple the most golden of them all. Not just that he fell into a reality TV love story late in life, but that he embraced it with open arms, an open heart, and a harmonica in his back pocket. As he said in episode 6, while slow dancing with Joan under fairy lights, "Love's not about starting over. It's about starting again, with everything you've learned, and finally getting it right." So whether or not Chock gets the final rose, one thing is certain: America already gave him theirs.